Today on the channel, we go full dwarf with Elkhorn Dungeons & Dragons NECA Ultimate Edition.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another NECA Ultimate unboxing and review. And today we take a trip to the Dungeons and the Dragons with Elkhorn, a dwarf with a heart of gold. But for all your dwarf needs and a whole lot more, make sure you're hitting up Entertainment Earth. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% on all in-stock items. Anything over $79 does ship free. Got to get a deal out there. And Elkhorn, an all-time favorite that I did not know was an all-time favorite. As I've talked about this on the channel before, I saw this for the first time, I believe it was San Diego Comic-Con last year, 2023, as I'm filming this. Saw this, and I immediately said, oh my gosh, that's Dungeons & Dragons Elkhorn. Now, long story for me, kid growing up in the 80s, guess what? In the 80s, no internet, nothing going on. And every kid in the 80s, somehow along the way, maybe it was your grandma, maybe an aunt and uncle, maybe a wayward birthday party, who knows? But you got a toy in your toy collection that you have no idea or memory of what it was. And as a very small kid, I somehow ended up with an original Dungeons & Dragons LJN Elkhorn figure, never knowing until the internet came along my way in like 95 or 96, whatever it was. And I started looking up some things. I had no idea what toy line this was from. I had no clue, but man, Elkhorn was a battler. He was playing with my I was going to say Marvel Legends, but I guess it was a Marvel Toy Biz back then. He was involved with all that kind of stuff. I had him with G.I. Joe's sometime. He was a guy that got around for a little guy, but I never knew he was a part of the Dungeons & Dragons line. In a very similar situation with Chris Starr, recently from Marvel Legends, another figure I had as a little kid, having no idea what it was with and where he went to and what he was. I played with my X-Men figures, my DC Kenner Superpower figures. That's where he kind of went in. So two very iconic figures from my 80s childhood that I had no idea what they were. Here we are in 2024, released from different toy lines. Of course, Hasbro over here, NECA over here. Just, man, blowing my mind all these years later. So very, very exciting for me, and I love Elkhorn. And I think Elkhorn started my long fascination and love for dwarfs everywhere. Dwarfs, heart of gold, always a little grumpy in their old age, as we've seen from Lord of the Rings and Elkhorn, of course. But man, oh man, am I happy to have this one. Going to be a contender in my top 10 NECA figures for 2024. We'll see about the big list at the end of the year as well, so we'll stay tuned for that. But of course, one other thing to stay tuned to is how we're going to do this review. We're going to do it like we do all the other ones on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And I got my Gygax shirt on. Of course, Gary Gygax, Dice Throwers, Rock and Rollers. But it is Gygax, the heavy metal band. They have broken up, unfortunately. I am not a Dungeons & Dragons guy. I know nothing about Dungeons & Dragons, but I love heavy metal. I love hard rock. Check out Gygax if you've never heard him. Check out Gypsy Hawk before that. Eric Harris bringing it down. Man, I hope Eric Harris gets back into music again because I love his stuff. I love everything he does, and Gygax was a great band, and a lot of songs based on Dungeons & Dragons. I don't understand it, but I love the music. There you go. Shout out to Gygax. Shout out to Eric Harris. There it is. But there's old Elkhorn looking only like an Elkhorn could look if he was like on a stool around some like dark magic with a flame and a big hammer. That's how he'd look. Beautiful drawing right here. And of course, he is the side of good. He's a good dwarf at the end of the day. Very, very combative, though. Ready to fight, ready to be grumpy. That's just, he gives that look to him. Of course, Dungeons & Dragons logo, Elkhorn down there. Glamour shot on the bottom here, Dungeons & Dragons once again. Then on the back, we got the cross-sell. We're really building out that universe. We just recently saw they're going to do carded repaint versions. Probably going to sign up for those as well along the way. Glamour shots, then a blurb. Let's see what it says about our old friend, Elkhorn. Let's see. Elkhorn has been Strongheart's most stalwart companion over the years, so we got him in the collection. We'll have to bring him out in a little bit. Unflinchingly loyal, tirelessly optimistic, and fiercely devoted to the destruction of evil in all its forms. Man, he hates evil. He's not especially bright. Oh, come on, really? So he fights with his heart rather than his wits. And we try to do that from time to time. Age has drained much of the strength from Elkhorn's body. Strongheart has urged Elkhorn to retire, but the old dwarf stubbornly refuses to do so. So, good for him. Makes sense there, and I guess I could just... He's like a young Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon. Just wanted to retire. Just got to get through this. Just got to get through this. And, of course, we get the packaging that opens up all beautifully. Glamour shot, big bubble window. In case you run into Elkhorn at a convention or something, man, he'll sign this. I heard he's all about signing things like this. He's a good guy at the end of the day. How about a little plastic prison? Look at all that stuff. Tons and tons of accessories. They don't mess around at NECA, that is for sure, especially in the accessory department. Gonna pull that out, pull that out. Extra head, extra hands, all the fun stuff you could ever want here with old Elkhorn. Man, choose your own adventure with Elkhorn. 2 heads, that's great that they're doing the repaint collection, so you can have the repainted ones with 1 head, different weapons, have the exact opposite with these. That's the way to go. That's how you mix it up. But of course, gonna take this offline, get this all out of the package, and we'll be back talking all things D&D Elkhorn. All right, we got Elkhorn out of the package. Let's dive into the accessories, and it's going to take some time. We got a lot of stuff going on with him, but of course, let's start with the hands. And Elkhorn, he came to fight 2 fists of fury right out of the package. A man over after my own heart, no doubt about it. And then we just got gripping hands throughout. So we got the side-to-side gripping hands. Looks like they're all side-to-side. So it's basically the same gripping hands. We got 1 trigger hand. No gun on Elkhorn, but it's just, yeah, a bunch of different gripping hands. So choose your own gripping hand adventure, and he's going to grip it and rip it with one of these axes. There's no doubt about it. And as much as I love a fist, I'm going to have him with 2 gripping hands swinging some weapons. That's what he's going to be for me. But then we get some of these jewel things. Of course, saw this on the front of the package. He's got a little heart action there, a little translucent crystal-like heart. I'm sure it was part of his quest. I'm sure he was up to a quest or 2, and he probably puts these in his backpack ready to go. It gives him some health or something. Who knows? Like I said, don't know my Dungeons & Dragons. I just know cool figures. So we got that. Then we get a little purple crystal here looking like more crystals and things like that. I don't know, coming out of a rock. I don't know. Is giving powers? Is this what he's collecting? I don't know. We all collect something, don't we, at the end of the day? I think old Elkhorn crystal collector. How about that? Getting his chakras in order, maybe. Who knows what he's up to? Then we saw this on the front of the package as well. A nice wooden kind of log. Everybody loves a wooden log. And then you got a little flame effect here on the top. Thought was maybe removable. It is not. But nice cool flame at the top, looking really good. Now, this is one of those toys. There are accessories you could use with different toy lines if you wanted to. We're all here for this. We got the torch. We're lighting the way. We're going to take it to Count Frankenstein, or Castle Frankenstein, that is. You can use it for that, whatever you need to with that. Then we're going to dive into some other stuff. Of course, he's got a big old jug. I don't know if he's in a jug band. Maybe he's like a young Tennessee Slicker Leroy Troy. Look that one up. There's a deep cut. But maybe he's playing in a jug band and he's doing the blow on here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. He could be doing that. Who knows what he's up to? Or he's got this full of alcohol. Maybe moonshine. Who knows what he's up to? Needs like a skull and crossbones on there or something. But of course, those dwarfs, they like to drink and be merry from time to time. It's one of those stereotypes that's been really hard for them to shrug off, as we do know. But now we're getting down into some weapons. I guess we'll go shield first. Nice interior on the shield here. Leather strap, steel, little handle action. And then, of course, a beat-up shield. A shield that's seen a thing or two. Even got some claw marks in the front, so like he fought a tiger or something. Who knows? His legend looms, that old Elkhorn there. Then we get down to some serious weapons here. We got the big old axe going on. Once again, wood handle down here, all wood. Very rudimentary, but a nice axe end here, of course, to do axe things. Chop some wood, chop some heads, whatever you got to do. Got a little blade here, silver blade, gold handle, looking very ornate, looking very nice. Elkhorn's got a knife there. Man, he's not messing around. He's loaded with all kinds of stuff. You got the big old hammer here. This looks like something you'd take to the amusement park. He's got to see how hard he can hit it and have that thing go up. Almost looks like that. Kind of a copper color with a little steel against it. Nice wrappings to break up kind of the monotony there. 2 big handles up here. He's going to swing this big old axe, or I guess hammer, not necessarily an axe right here. Looking good. I'm here for that. And we continue on. We got the sword, and don't forget the sheath. We got the sheath, of course. Put the sword right in there if you want to. Very ornate once again. Nice blade at the top. Copper bronze type color going on. Beautiful handle. Looking very, very nice. And got 2 holes on the side. And oh, here we go. This will plug right into the side of this backpack. I think that's pretty cool. So we could store some things. You know me, I'm all for storage with my weapons and things. Looks like we got storage on the side. Maybe for that axe. How heavy is thy axe? That's what Elkhorn asked, and you could store that right on the side if you want to, among many other things. Maybe even the torch. Probably a dangerous proposition there, but might burn your backpack, but you can store some stuff on that side as well. And it looks like this just hangs over the back and plugs in. Yep, he's got a little pocket type deal. I don't know, I'm going to have to play around with this a little bit. It looks like it might be a little tough to get in there. Yes, it will fit inside. I'll have to play with it, but it's going to be a little hard to get it slid in there. We'll work on that a little bit. Now, this does open up, so that's kind of nice. You can store some things inside if you want to. Not a ton of room in there. Maybe I can get that heart inside there, but it does open up. Of course, has all kinds of pockets throughout. It's beautiful storage here. He's going out for an adventure. Once again, dare I say, a quest. You also got a little blanket down here all rolled up, because even little dwarfs get tired from time to time, just like big people do as well. We all need a little place to rest our head and a blanket to cover us up at night. And then the final two weapons here, we got the big old axe here. This is what I imagine a guy like Elkhorn swinging, this huge axe, looking very, very beautiful. Beaten up, worn, an axe that's seen some use over the years. And then we get a hammer, once again, a little bit smaller hammer here, looking very nice, looking very big and ornate again there. So beautiful accessories of this one. This guy is loaded for bear. He is not messing around, as we can see. But now we're going to dive into Elkhorn himself. We're going to start with the head sculpts as usual. And of course, you know, throwing out those dwarf stereotypes once again in these movies and shows and comics and Dungeons and Dragons. Got the big bushy beard, big long beard, got a braid in it in the middle with a little gold action. Just very on brand for a dwarf in a fantasy adventure like this. Even a ponytail here, and you got articulation on the ponytail, which is pretty cool as well. He does got a big old Viking helmet. That's what I think of with these, and I go back to my childhood version of this. I broke off one of the horns, or somebody broke off a horn. He had one horn broken off. Nice to see him complete once again all these years later. We got a nice gold helmet there. Got a little spike on the top. When the chips are down, you can use your helmet as a weapon if you need to. 3 jewels in the top. And then a very big face on him. Very interesting eyes. Tired eyes, I guess we'd say, with old Elkhorn. He's a guy that's seen some things. And then, of course, I forgot to mention on the beard, kind of got that blue, giving it a little extra color and depth, looking good. Then you get into the body here, you got chainmail over the top, chainmail on the arms. He's ready for a sword fight. He's got some protection going on. Got a kind of leather sash throughout. He's all ready and all protected. He also has the Elkhorn Championship belt, which was formerly the Dwarf Championship belt. However, he held it so long, they changed it to the Elkhorn belt. Somebody feel free to fact check that. Pretty sure there's no reason to, because it's 100% correct. Got a spot for that little knife down here, like a young valiant Thor. He's got a little knife. He's going to stick it right down in here. He's got the forearm guards and the gloved hands. Of course, we talked about those. And then a very bold fashion move down here with the greenish seafoam green. Is that what we'd call that? I don't know. But green pants looking very interesting. And then very He-Man Masters Universe style boot wrappings going on down to the boots. Looking very interesting there. Of course, articulation. His arms do go around, but they are blocked by the shoulder pads here, so kind of round. You do get side to side on the elbow. You got double jointed elbows, though, on top of that. Hands back, forth, side to side. Hands removable. Head, of course, removable as well. Waist articulation. Big ol' splits if he needs them. Legs go up. Single jointed knees. Boot cut. No boot cut on him, but ankles back and forth. And, of course, he will fit on a ringside collectible Mattel stand, I do imagine. Yes, he does. So if you need to fit him on there, he will do that. Now, we did get the second head. I forgot to mention that. This one, similar but different. You got the same kind of effect going on. Pretty much the same thing throughout. The big difference on this one is he's got a little bit of mouth open. He's got a little teeth showing. A little bit, I'm in the battle. I'm ready to throw down. Really, basically the same heads back and forth. Hard to tell the difference between the two. But we do have that. But he does fit on the ringside stand, as I did mention. And he is a very fun figure, I should mention that, as I absolutely love this figure. This is a figure that can go in your D&D collection, of course. You can put it with your Mythic Legions. You can really put this wherever you want. You can truly choose your own collectible adventure with this guy right here. But, of course, his partner in crime, we already unboxed him on the channel. We got an old Strong Heart here looking good. The Dream Team, dare I say it? Dare I say it? Is this the Dream Team right here? I'm here for this at the end of the day. Very, very cool. And a very fun toy line is what we got going with this Dungeons & Dragons line. Anxious to see where this one goes. And even if somebody that, like myself that knows zero on Dungeons & Dragons, knows absolutely nothing about it, I think these figures are very cool and very fun to have and to collect here. And the Elkhorn, latest and greatest, could be the best one yet, if you ask me. And we can't forget about another little guy that came in the line, old Zarok. We're going to Zarok and roll right here at the table. Zarok, a dangerous troll. Can't wait for the second edition of him so I can display both looks on him as well. just a lot of fun with these figures here. I'm having a good time with the dungeons and especially the dragons. But what about you? You having fun time with these guys? You picking these up? Long gaming? No gaming? What are you doing here? You picking up old Elkhorn? You picking up Zarok? You picking up Strongheart? What about Warduke? You getting him too? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and then some. We got even more content for you, of course, on Patreon. Patreon, your best place to support this very YouTube channel and all the content it does bring. You can also support the channel over at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media. SirPaul64 on the X. The _Kyle_Peterson on Threads and on Instagram. So for Zarok, Elkhorn, and a Strongheart, I'm a Kyle. See you guys all real soon.